Hey guys, Wet Movie 1 back here again for another Blu-ray DVD update. It's been a little over 2 weeks since my last one. Got a nice size stack of stuff here to show you, so let's get started with it. The first one up from Warner Brothers is Imax Into the Arctic. This is another nature documentary, kind of like in the vein of Planet Earth, where they follow around different animals for a while. Like in here, they follow around a couple of bears, a mom and her 2 cubs, and follow them along. And finding out how the mom is having a harder and harder time to find food for her young, and just because the polar ice caps are melting, and it's kind of hard, hard for her to find food. She has to sometimes swim for days to find any kind of food for her young, and it's just a really beautiful story. It doesn't just follow around the bears on the cover here. It follows around a couple other animals also. It's also narrated by Meryl Streep, and has beautiful music by Paul McCartney in this. It was just very, very nice to listen to, nice to watch. It's one of those things you put in, and you just, if you're having like a hectic day or something, you put it in just to like, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those kind of things. This pack right here is a Blu-ray DVD ultraviolet digital copy combo pack, which includes a bonus 3D version of the film. But it's just one of those ones that you want to showcase to your friends if they've never seen Blu-ray before, but by now they should have. It's just one of those ones that I think it made my TV just play the best possible picture it's ever played. You know what I mean? It felt like it was beyond 1080p for some reason. It's just a really beautiful little film here. It's about 40 minutes long. You get a handful of special features on here. It says from the Academy Award-winning director of Everest. If you guys ever seen that documentary about Everest, where people are trying to climb the mountain. But I actually found myself really just in love with this film. You know what I mean? It's not outstanding. It's just really beautiful to watch. Nice music by Paul McCartney. I recommend checking that one out if you guys are into nature documentaries. Alright guys, next up is Lincoln on Blu-ray. Don't get this movie confused with Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter or Abraham Lincoln versus the Zombies, which is the Asylum put out. This is the one made by Steven Spielberg, starring Daniel Day-Lewis and Sally Field, and a bunch of other people like Joseph Gordon-Levitt and everything. This one pretty much follows the life of Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president, in his final 4 months in office, and how he's trying to abolish slavery and end the Civil War. That's pretty much the story of this movie here. And if you guys don't know anything about Abraham Lincoln, you guys should, because you guys should have paid attention in your history class. It's a very well done movie, but there's some parts of this movie that kind of made me fall asleep because there was so much talking in some parts of the movie. It just kind of made me want to nod out a little bit. I kind of like lost interest just in some parts of it when there's a lot of talking. 7 years ago. Like it's just kind of like but it is very well told, very well shot. I can't say it's Steven Spielberg's best movie he's ever done, because I love Jurassic Park, I love E.T., Jaws is amazing. It's not one of those kind of movies that I don't believe I can watch it over and over again. It's a total rental if you guys get it, if you guys want to watch it. You would, go out there and rent first. Check it out and see if you like it before you buy it kind of thing. But this Blu-ray here, you get a nice in-depth behind the scenes with Steven Spielberg and the cast talking about the making of the film. This pack right here has a slipcase. So for all your slipcase aficionados out there, you get a slipcase with this nice gold trim around it. Yeah, if you guys get a chance, check it out. It's just not one of my favorite Spielberg movies of all time. It's very well done, but it's just not I can't say it's my favorite or anything, but that's Lincoln on Blu-ray DVD digital copy combo pack. Next up from Sony is Zero Dark 30 on Blu-ray. This is the one that was nominated for Best Picture, directed by Kathryn Bigelow. Her from she made The Hurt Locker. And this movie is in the same kind of vein as Hurt Locker, the same style of filmmaking. But this movie takes you on the journey of people trying to find Osama bin Laden, and it takes place after 9/11 happened, and just how certain people are getting really deep in, to Al-Qaeda and trying to figure out, who knows who and who's going to try to help them get to bin Laden. And a lot of this movie has a lot of torture stuff in it. Some of the torture stuff is kind of rough if you guys are not into that kind of stuff, but I found this movie to be really entertaining. but it just felt a little bit too long. You know what I mean? Like it could have been 20 or 30 minutes shorter and still told the same story. That's pretty much the story of the movie. It's just people trying to find Bin Laden and kill Bin Laden. But there was also the thing about this movie. Kathryn Bigelow and her writing partner. Before they finished the script and they're about to shoot this movie, and then at the time they found out Bin Laden actually just got killed, by us. So they had to go back and rewrite the movie. And I just thought that was very interesting. Like they were, Kathryn Bigelow and her partner had this movie all ready to go and start to film, but then they found out Bin Laden got killed, and they had to go back and redo their thing. And I thought that was just a cool thing to know before watching this movie. But if you guys see this out there, I really highly recommend renting it. I can't recommend purchasing, but renting, definitely give it a chance. Give it a watch. Zero Dark 30 on Blu-ray. Next up right here from Comedy Central is Aloha Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias' new stand-up special. It's about 90 minutes long. He does a 90-minute stand-up special, and it's very hard to come by now for comics to do 90 minutes, an hour and a half. Right? It's usually like 40 to 60 minutes that comics do their, stand-up specials. Only some comics can do that hour and a half. Like there's him, he does that. George Carlin does a comic that did that on a regular basis. Chris Rock has done it. Not a lot of comics do a lot of like 90-minute stand-up specials. But I believe this is Gabriel Iglesias' third stand-up comedy special that he's done. He's just a really, really funny dude. Especially the last story he tells in this about him, playing a racist joke on his black friend. Really, really funny stuff. You have to check this one out if you're a super fan. This is actually a Blu-ray with a slipcase from Comedy Central, and I think that was just a cool little added bonus. I have the other two Gabriel Iglesias Blu-rays that he has put out. I think he's really funny, and you guys all know that he started out in All That, on Nickelodeon's All That. Not the first original cast, but one of the later casts, and I just think that's really kind of cool, and I don't know, man. I gotta support the big brother, the Fluffy brothers. But that's Aloha Fluffy. Alright guys, next up is Kristen Schaal, live from the Fillmore. Hopefully I said the name right. This is the first time I ever seen her do stand-up, and I don't want to lie, I really had a hard time getting into her style of comedy. I don't know how to explain her style of comedy, but it was just really kind of weird. I don't know. It's just it's the first comic in a long time I couldn't get into. I love stand-up comedy. I have the biggest like stand-up comedy collection of anybody I know. She's a cutie pie. Don't get me wrong, but her stand-up it just didn't entertain me at all. So but that's Kristen Schaal live at the Fillmore. Alright guys, next up from Lionsgate is House Arrest, and it's not the one you guys all know and love with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Jamie Lee Curtis. This is the one starring Stacey Dash. You guys all know her from Clueless, playing Alicia Silverstone's best friend in the movie Clueless. And it also stars The Game. And in this movie, they play a couple. They've been going out for a while and living like lavish lifestyle. He's like a rich guy, and she's living off him because he has all this money. And one day she's going into this store to buy some new clothes, and The Game's standing out by the car waiting for Stacey to come out. And while she's in there, The Game makes this weird, creepy deal with some guy on the street. Like he opens up this suitcase and he's like doing something illegal, and he sells it to like an undercover officer, and he gets put in jail, and Stacey Dash gets put under house arrest because she's involved with it somehow. And the movie's pretty much her stuck at home trying to figure out what the hell she's going to do and how she's going to get out of it, and what's really happening with her boyfriend, and if she's really involved in what her boyfriend's been doing. That's pretty much the story of the movie. It wasn't the greatest movie ever made. It's one of those straight to DVD, comedy dramedies. But there's a character in here. I forgot the guy's name. He plays Stacey Dash's friend. He plays like the gay guy, and he's the only person of this movie that stood out to me, that was entertaining to watch. It wasn't he was very good, but the movie was just kind of like really thrown together. It's one of those ones it's like an hour and 45 minutes, but it's one of those movies you would think it should be like 80 to 90 minutes at the longest. But it was alright. Nothing's too special. Next up right here, I picked up at Best Buy. I just had to get it because I'm a fan of the first one and a fan of the writers and the director of this movie, and that is The Collection on Blu-ray. And you guys all know the first one, it's called The Collector. And if you guys ever seen The Collector, this one picks up right off where the last one ended pretty much. We know how the guy gets thrown into the box, and you got to find out what happens to the person. And it opens up with him still in the box, and there's this big party going on. And the collector guy is still out there causing his mischief. And, it's just really cool because there's different little traps and different little things, that happen to different people. I don't want to get into it. It's really kind of, I don't want to, say anything because that'll ruin different little things that happen in the movie because it's not really, it's just a guy killing people. And then the good guys are trying to find the guy that's doing the killing and stop him from doing that. But this one right here is written by Patrick and Marcus, the guys that did the Feast movies, and they did the first Collector, again the last couple Saw movies and stuff. I know I've always been a real big fan of those guys, and I want to support anything they do. And I believe Marcus Dunstan is the guy that directed this one also. I think he did a really, really good job on this one. I found myself really enjoying it. I'm a real super fan of the first one, and they really did deliver on this one. I do like the kills, especially what happens at that party scene at the beginning. I was like, holy shit! But that's The Collection on Blu-ray. If you guys get a chance, if you guys are into horror movies, I highly, highly recommend this one. Alright guys, next up is The Kick on DVD from the director of On Bach and The Protector, the Tony Jaa films. This movie is pretty much about these group of bad guys at the beginning of the film trying to steal this Taiwanese artifact, or this dagger. And as they're trying to get away with it, this one Taiwanese martial art kid foils their plan. And then it's pretty much about the family having to go into hiding so those bad guys can't find them. But then later on the bad guys find them, and then it's just like this whole big action fight scenes going on. It's a really, really fun, fast-paced, really nicely, shot action film. But it's one of those ones I was like, why wouldn't this be on Blu-ray? It was just really cool. If you guys are into martial art action, just ba 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 ba, like really fun, over the top, fight stuff. And if you guys see it out there, I definitely recommend checking this one out. It's one of those really, really fun ones that really surprised me when I watched it, because I really didn't know what I was getting into putting it in, because I love martial art movies so much, and I was really pleasantly surprised. But that's The Kick on DVD. Alright guys, next up from Magnet Pictures is John Dies at the End, directed by Don Coscarelli. You guys all know from the Phantasm movies. Boy! If you guys ever seen the Phantasm movies, you know what I'm talking about. But this is John Dies at the End. It's about two college dropouts. One guy's name's Dave, the other guy's name's John. And one night they're at this party, or Dave's at this party, big shindig that's going on. All the kids are there and partying. And Dave bumps into this weird Jamaican guy that's like, see the future and tell people their future and just see and do things and levitate and all that. And John's like, yeah. He's like, I could tell your future, boy, kind of thing. And he just kind of leaves and goes off, and he finds out that something's happened to his friend John. His friend's going crazy, and he sees this needle one day one night at his friend's house, and he puts it in his pocket to take it with him to figure out what the hell this needle is filled with and what's going on. And as he's going to find John, the needle sticks himself. The needle actually sticks him, and then that needle is like filled with this stuff that's called soy sauce in the movie, and it makes him see things that's not there, or see things that other people can't see, that makes him think that everyone thinks he's crazy. And it's just a really wacky, over the top movie with weird alien creatures, and it's just really weird and crazy. But I absolutely fell in love with this movie. You have to really watch it to understand what I'm trying to say here. I can't really explain anymore, because then it'll give away everything. But it is wacky, really over the top. But if you guys get a chance and you see this out there, give it a big rental. Check this one out. It's really cool. Some of the effects are kind of like, it could have been a little bit better. But still, I absolutely fell in love with this movie. I wasn't bored whatsoever. But that is John Dies at the End, guys. Check this one out if you get a chance. Next up right here is Jet Li and the Sorcerer and the White Snake. This is like a fantasy film about a monk here, played by Jet Li. He's like a demon vanquisher, a demon killer kind of person. And there's another guy in the movie. He's like a medicine man. That's what I'm trying to say here. I was gonna say herbalist. I can't even say it right, but a medicine man. And he's out there like picking herbs and trying to find things to help the people that are dying from like demon bites or demon like the demon stuff. And one day, as he's out there picking herbs to try to to heal people, he falls into the water, and this weird demon girl or demon girl snake or whatever you want to call it jumps in there and feels bad and saves him by kissing him and like getting him up out of the water. But by the time the guy wakes up, the girl's gone. It's just pretty much him wanting to know how to get her back, and the love story between a demon and a human, and then Jet Li's character is trying to figure out how to vanquish these demons and get these demons out of here. But yet, not all demons are bad. It's really it's just a really it sounds really kind of crazy to try to explain it, but it's really simple, and it's just a really beautiful shot movie. Really, really nice. Scenery. You can't go wrong with Jet Li. It's not like a big, martial art extravaganza or anything like that, but there is really cool special effects. Kind of cheesy at points, but really, really a beautiful film. I really like the score of the movie. It's just a really, really nice visual feast. You know what I mean? It's kind of there's some parts of the movie at the end where it kind of feels like the movie 2012 in a way, where like big waves are crashing in and all that. But it's just really cool if you guys get a chance to see The Sorcerer and the White Snake. Next up over here is another one from Magnet, that's At the Gate of the Ghost. This movie's kind of like A Time to Kill, but Taiwanese style in a way. About this one bandit on trial for murder. And it's just like him at a court being tried before he gets killed. And he's trying to plead his case or talk about what actually really happened. And, it goes back and forth between, flashbacks of what happened and then going right back to the court area. But it's not really like a court like you would see in American films. It's like, old-fashioned-y kind of Taiwanese things with like people sitting in a temple. It's really kind of cool. And it's a love story between a man and a woman, and then a bandit comes in. And it's just a really nicely told story. It's really simple, so I can't really say anything else. Really beautiful visuals, a couple of cool fight scenes. To be honest with you, there was no ghost. You know what I mean? It says At the Gate of the Ghost. There is no ghost whatsoever. I don't know why they would, have the word ghost in the title. But I don't know. I would check that one out totally. Alright guys, next up is Storage 24 from Magnet. This is like a sci-fi action movie, kind of like the movie The Relic in a way, about these people that get stuck in the storage area, like a storage bin kind of place, and this big thing crashes down from the sky, and it gets them trapped inside the storage area, and it's just them trying to figure out how they can get out. And then what the hell was that kaboom? And then they find out what happened and what really crashed down there. And you have to find out what it is. But it's just them trying to get out. And it has that total vibe of that, like I said, the movie The Relic, or like Deep Rising, if you guys ever saw that action movie from like the late 90s. Like weird, it's like a creature feature kind of thing, with like a thing kind of trying to get you. And I don't know, man, I found it to be really highly enjoyable. Not really scary, but I'm sure some people will be scared watching it, but it really was a hell of a good time. Really, really fun watching this one. But that's Storage 24 on Blu-ray. Really, really cool one. Alright guys, next up from Millennium Entertainment is Straight A's on Blu-ray, starring Ryan Philippe, Anna Paquin, and Luke Wilson. This movie's pretty much about Ryan Philippe's character. He's like an outcast of a family. He's coming down to visit his brother and his brother's wife after so many years. And he's kind of like a crazy guy. Kind of says and does what he wants, kind of like me in a way. He's just causing all this mischief when he comes around. He's like smoking in front of Anna Paquin's kids, just kind of being unruly in a way. And it's just him kind of falling in love with his brother's wife, but yet his his brother is actually thinking about divorcing his wife, and Anna Paquin doesn't know what she's doing, if she likes her husband anymore, if she likes Ryan Philippe's character. It's kind of like like a love triangle kind of movie in a way. I can't give away the ending because it's really simple. But this movie was just okay. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, you know, something to write home about. I can't really recommend buying this one at all. If you guys see it there, if you're a fan of any of these, you know, any of these stars in the movie, I recommend renting it. But I don't know. It just wasn't really that fantastic to me. You know, it looks really nice on Blu-ray. All right, guys. Last up here on the update today are 3 Mill Creek double packs, and that is their action pack here of Hollywood Homicide and Hudson Hawk. I wanted to see this one because I haven't seen Hudson Hawk in such a long time. I wanted to revisit it, and I still love it to this day. I forgot what that one movie he did that I didn't. There's only one movie he did that I didn't really care for, but I didn't like it so much. I just can't remember it right now. Something with the word color in it, Color of Night or something. I believe I didn't really care for that one, but this is their double pack here from Mill Creek. They also have the dramedy double pack, which has a squid and a whale and Running with Scissors. I always like Squid and a Whale. Anything Jeff Daniels does, I like to support. I always loved them ever since the movie Speed and Dumb and Dumber. Those are like the 2 movies I've seen around that same time period that made me just think he was awesome. But there they have the double pack here of that. And there's also the double pack here of Hollow Man and Hollow Man 2 in one pack here. I've never seen Hollow Man 2 before until the other day when Gabriel came over and I watched it with him. That one stars Christian Slater and Peter Facinelli, and his name Christian Slater plays the Hollow Man himself. So like he was only in there for a couple of scenes. You know, like his voice was in there more than actually he was. And the movie's pretty much him. He's already invisible at the beginning of the movie, and he's been invisible for such a long time. He's going absolutely, you know, batshit crazy. And he's trying to figure out, you know, how to get like a formula to make him feel better because he's always invisible. And he's been invisible so long, he's just going crazy and killing people. And that's pretty much the movie. It wasn't really that great. You can totally feel the straight to DVD factor of that movie. But you also get the original Hollow Man on here with starring Kevin Bacon, but the director's cut of it. And if you guys like when you watch these movies, it's just like the Invisible Man that, you know, Universal put out back in, you know, a long time ago. When you watch it, it's like that's what this is. This is like the remake of Invisible Man, but made, you know, in the late 90s or 2000s or whatever these ones came out in. But these packs, they each come with 2 movies on them, but they're all on one disc. But the picture quality is pretty good. Like out of a 0 to a 10, I would have to give them a 7. A 7 out of 10 for PQ on these. You don't really get any special features on them, but the picture quality doesn't really suffer at all. But guys, that's pretty much it for my update today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like my videos, please thumbs them up and drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about what I talked about today. And I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye guys.